Hello again. Good morning. How are you? How's everything? Everything okay? How are things going? How are things going? How's everything? How you doing? How you doing? It's good to see you again. It's good to see you. Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to see you here. I'm delighted to see that you're following me every morning. It's a sheer delight. It's a pure delight to know that you're following me every morning. Okay, gain fluency. Let's continue where we left off yesterday. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue where we left off yesterday. Page 102, gain fluency. Paragraph 943, which I will repeat from yesterday. When was the last time you spoke to the sales team? They need to see you and hear from you. We all know you're not involved in the day-to-day stuff, but we still need your leadership. Okay, the leadership is a spiritual question. In an organization, you need a leader of the spirit. It's very, very important. And then the people feel that they are part of a project, part of a team, part of an endeavor, and they row in the right direction if there's a good leader. All right, I can see. In many organizations, you don't have a good leader, I can see. All right. But when you have a good leader, it's a different feeling. The work is the work, but there's a different feeling, a different approach. Aquí parece que ya no está en el día a día y está olvidando ejercer un liderazgo. When was the last time you spoke? When was the last time you spoke to the sales team? They need you. They need to see you and to hear from you. To hear you es oírte, que también está bien aquí, to hear you. Pero oír cosas procedentes de ti, to hear from you. All right. We all know you're not involved in the day-to-day stuff, in the day-to-day things, but we still need your leadership. We still need, aún así necesitamos, we still need your leadership. Okay? Okay. The next one, page 102, paragraph 944. He tries not to get involved, but he can't help it. He was the production manager for 15 years. And even though he's the CEO now, he can't resist walking around the factory every day. Okay. He tries not to get involved, but he can't help it. He tries not to get involved. Not to get or not to get. That is the question. To be or not to be. Negativo del infinitivo. Intenta no involucrarse. Involucrarse is to get involved. O sea, hacerse involucrado. Ponerse involucrado. To get involved. He tries. Es el CEO ahora. Antes era el jefe de producción durante 15 años. He tries not to get involved in the day. ¿Qué dice aquí? He tries not to get involved, comma, but he can't, but he, pero él no puede evitarlo. But he can't help it. Fijaos como muchos nativos, la mayoría, decimos buddy. But he can't. But she. Ahora, cuando es ella, la SH invade y se come la T de but she can't help it. Ella intenta. She tries, si fuera ella, she tries not to get involved, but she can't help it. Ellos. They try not to get involved, but they can't help it. We try not to get involved, but we. Me como la T, but we. Phonetics are strange. And phonetics are different in different regions of the English-speaking world. Yeah, the same as in Spanish. The same as in Spanish. But in any case, he tries, ahora es él, he tries not to get involved, but he can't help it. No puede ayudarlo significa no puede evitarlo. No lo puede evitar. But he can't help it. No lo puedo evitar, lo siento. I can't help it. I can't help it. I continue giving English classes year after year. I can't help it. Necesito parar. I need to retire, Marta. Yeah, I need to cut my ponytail, mi coleta. All right. He tries not to get involved, but he can't help it. He was the production manager for 15 years. And even though, aunque ya es el CEO, que es el consejero delegado, and even though he's the CEO, pronúncialo así o no lo pronuncias, cambia, a managing director. There are two words for consejero delegado, que es miembro del consejo delegado con la función gerencial, pero es miembro del consejo. Director general no es miembro del consejo. That's the difference, consejero delegado, director general. One is a member of the board of directors and the other is not. Now, the original word for consejero delegado in English many years ago was managing director, and we still use it. MD. ¿Quién es el MD aquí? Who's the MD? Who's the managing director? Fine. But the military terminology has penetrated into English, and now he's a chief executive officer, oficial, jefe ejecutivo, chief executive officer, CEO. Y se tiene que pronunciar CEO. Fijaos que hay una pausa minúscula entre la C y luego entro en la E. CEO. Here in Spain, people are using this. ¿Quién es el CEO? Fine. Se entiende quién es el CEO aquí. Lo has oído tú, ¿no? Alguna vez. ¿Quién es el CEO? Pero luego cuando lo traducen en inglés, dicen, who's the CEO? CEO. It's impossible to understand. Despista al oyente, 100%. Le manda a otra galaxia. Who's the CEO here? Excuse me? The CEO. Who's the CEO in this company? I'm sorry, I don't understand you. The CEO. And you say, the CEO. The CEO. Si no se pronuncia así, no se va a entender. Lo siento. Le entra rabia a un hispanohablante cuando dice, es que no intentan entenderme. No. Nos has mandado a otra galaxia fonética. Estamos buscando por otra galaxia. You know, it's strange about English when you mispronounce a word. In every case, no, but in many cases, no caemos. We just don't understand. And don't say CEO. CEO, no. CEO. O no lo digas. Or don't say it. Managing director. Pero aquí dice CEO. All right, CEO. All right. CEO. Apenas exagero el staccato de esto. CEO. All right. He tries not to get involved, but he can't help it. He was the production manager for 15 years, and even though he's the CEO now, he can't resist walking around the factory every day. This is true. I know the person. Se llama Escudero. All right. And Escudero was the production manager for many years. And then he was promoted to CEO. However, every day he had lunch in the canteen, in the company dining room. And when he finished lunch, for 15 years before he took a walk around the factory for about 20-25 minutes before going to his office. Now there's a new production manager. Now he's the CEO, but he continues taking a walk. And I agree. I don't agree with the person. I think he should continue walking around the factory. All right. He can't resist, no puede resistir pasear por la fábrica. He can't resist walking around. Fijaos el gerundio. No puedo resistir usar este bolígrafo. I can't resist using. I can't resist following. I can't resist teaching, etc. All right. The next one, page 102, paragraph 945. He arrived in Germany as a refugee 12 years ago with only $200 in his pocket. Today, 12 years later, he owns and operates the largest chain of car wash tunnels in the country. Esto es en Alemania. He arrived in Germany as a refugee 12 years ago. Llegó como refugiado hace 12 años. He arrived in, fijaos, arrive in un país o una ciudad. To arrive in Spain, to arrive in Madrid, to arrive at un punto exacto, to arrive at the station, to arrive at the airport. But you arrive in Madrid, you arrive in Spain. He arrived in Germany as a refugee. Claro, en español se dice como refugiado, como profesor, como productora. En inglés no. Como un refugiado, como un profesor, yo digo como una productora, ella debe, as a refugee. He arrived in Germany as a refugee 12 years ago with only $200 in his pocket. Solo $200. Today, 12 years later, he owns and operates. Tiene propiedad y opera. Posee y opera. He owns and operates the largest chain, cadena más larga, of car wash tunnels in the country. Túneles de lavado de coches. Tiene más de 300 túneles de lavado. Está montado en el euro. Querer es poder. Yeah. He started working. When he arrived in Germany, the first job he had was, when you take your car in, he took the money and he prepared your car to go through the car wash tunnel. He did that for about 4 months. And then he convinced 2 friends to get money to build one car wash tunnel. And they started it. And it was successful. And he had enough money, he bought out the other 2. He bought out the other 2 and he built another with 2. And then he built 2 more. In a question of 12 years, he went from 0 to more than 100 car wash tunnels. And now he's a rich man. All right. I got to Spain. When I came to Spain, I had $300. $300. And the first day I arrived, I met 2 American girls, and we went off. We rented a car and drove around the north of Spain, from Gijón to Cadaqués to the Alto Ampurdán in Girona, and then down to Barcelona. The girls left, and I returned to Madrid with $150. I found a job teaching English. Hasta hoy. Now, you see, cuando tienes un oficio, when you have a trade, when you know how to do something, you're in a position to create an empire. If you smell hard, look hard, work hard, and do your best, you can do it. So, he arrived in Germany as a refugee 12 years ago with only $200 in his pocket. Today, 12 years later, he owns and operates the largest chain of car wash tunnels in the country. Okay, the next one, page 102, paragraph 946. Esto es verdad, esto pasó. This when I was in primary school, when I was in elementary school. When the teacher asked the class where the Declaration of Independence was signed, the first student to raise his hand said, at the bottom of the last page. It's true. You see, this happened. The teacher, creo que era en cuarto de primaria o algo, the teacher said, where was, in the United States, ¿dónde se firmó la Declaración de Independencia? Where was the Declaration of Independence signed? ¿Dónde fue la declaración firmada? Okay. And the first student raised his hand and said, yes, Jimmy, al pie de la última página. I said, that's true, pero en Philadelphia. Of course, the teacher wanted the class to say, the Declaration of Independence was signed in Philadelphia. But Jimmy was right. It was signed on the last page at the bottom. It's true. So, both answers are correct. When the teacher asked the class, fíjate como, when the teacher asked the class, no digo ni sonido de T, no digo asked. En plena batalla fonética, cuando estoy hablando yo, y creo que todos los demás también, angloparlantes, we say ask the class. Cuando pidió a la clase o preguntó a la clase, pasado simple. When the teacher asked the class, me cuesta. When the teacher asked the class, so ask the class, ask. Ask. Ahora, si fuera presente, cuando el profesor pregunta a la clase, todos los días, when the teacher asks the class, asks, and no sé si, por la S tercera persona. But in this case, when the teacher asked the class where the Declaration of Independence was signed, the first student to raise his hand, to raise your hand, me, I know the answer. You raise your hand. He said, at the bottom of the last page, which is true. I have a question. When you were in school, primary and secondary, if the teacher asked a question, did the students raise their hands? Yes, they did. What's the capital of Italy? And they raised their hand. Okay, fine. Yeah, they raised their hand. I know, teacher. Rome. All right. 1 minute. Okay. When the teacher asked the class where the Declaration of Independence was signed, the first student to raise his hand said, at the bottom of the last page, which is true. One more. One more, no, maybe more. Marta made a mistake. Marta did this, thinking it was 1 minute left, but we have more than 1 minute. We have about 7 minutes left, okay, or maybe 8. One more paragraph. Paragraph 947, page 102. Don't throw it away. We can use it to clean things. Yeah. This is. It looks like a pencil, but it's not. It's really a toothbrush. You brush your teeth with a toothbrush. Now, I use old toothbrushes to clean things. You know, for example, on the light switch, around the light switch hay muchos huellas, se ensucia, and I put. Do you use a toothbrush to clean? ¿Usas un viejo? How do you say toothbrush in Spanish? I'm losing my Spanish. And so you use it. Some housewives and mothers use toothbrushes to clean very, very specific things, you know. To clean like this. We're using an old toothbrush. So la madre dice, no tires ese viejo cepillo de dientes. Okay, toothbrush. Don't throw it away. No tires. Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. This is la basura. Don't throw it away. We can use it. We can use it to clean things. Para limpiar las cosas, no? Don't throw it away. We can use it. We can use it. We can use it. Fonética muy distante a la fonética española. We can use it, Susana también. We can use it. We can use it to clean things. I use old toothbrushes to clean things around the house. And the one I have is pretty worn out. Está un poco desgastado. O gastado. ¿Sí? Gastado o desgastado. Los dos. Curioso, ¿eh? Strange in Spanish. Mira, este cepillo está muy gastado. ¿Está bien? Este cepillo está muy desgastado. ¿Está bien? Crazy language. All right. So, okay. Don't throw it away. We can use it to clean things. I use old toothbrushes to clean things around the house. And the one I have, el que tengo, the one I have is bastante gastado, pretty worn out. So don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Let me have it. Déjamelo a mí. No lo tires. Don't throw it away. Let me have it. Permíteme tenerlo. Déjame tenerlo. Let me have it. Let me have it. Let me have it. Let me have it. All right, one more time. Don't throw it away. We can use it to clean things. I use old toothbrushes to clean things around the house, and the one I have is pretty worn out. Worn, como el participo de wear. Wear, wore, worn. Como rasgar, tear, tore, torn, o nacer. Bear, bore, born. I was born. All right. And worn out means desgastado o gastado en este caso. The one I have is pretty worn out, bastante gastado, pretty worn out. So don't throw it away. Let me have it. Okay? Okay. All right, we'll come back another day with that. For now, hablando de tear, tore, torn, tear. How much time? Tear. All right, to tear. Escrito tear, to tear. Lo he hecho, I've done it many times. In this program, many times. I'm going to tear this page. Watch. I'm tearing it. I'm tearing it. I'm still tearing it. I haven't finished tearing it yet. All right. Now, I'm going to tear it out. I'm going to tear it out. I have just torn it out. Now it's in my hand. And now I'm going to tear it up. I'm not going to tear it. Now I'm tearing it. Now I'm going to tear it up into a million little pieces. I'm going to tear it up. Ugh. No está mal, eh? I have torn it up. So to tear out, sacar arrancando, to tear it out. To tear up is en mil pedazos, como la foto de tu exnovia. Okay. All right. To tear it up. Y por último, to tear down is derribar tirando. O sea, como demolición de un edificio, to tear down a building. To tear down a building. Yeah. Now they use controlled explosive. All right. But the traditional way with a demolition ball, and they tear down the building. And we use it figuratively. Puedes construir una reputación de oro y luego puede ser derribada en un día. It can be torn down, to tear down a reputation. It's easier to tear down a building than to build a building. Y valga redundancia en inglés, si se construye un edificio, decimos to build a building. Aunque suene redundante, se dice. Así se dice, to build a building. And it's easier to tear down a building than to build a building. It's much easier to criticize and tear down than to create, and things like that. To tear. To tear up. To tear out. To tear down, and to tear, and to tear, Tengo un desgarro muscular en el gemelo. I have a muscle tear. Desgarro. A muscle tear. Torn curtain. There was a movie with Paul Newman and Julie Andrews called Cortina Rasgada. Torn curtain. The translation to Spanish is incorrect. No es cortina rasgada. Es telón rasgado. Porque era el telón de acero del comunismo. Because it was a question between East Germany, East Berlin and West Berlin. And in English it was torn curtain. Because in English el telón de acero, decimos la cortina de hierro, the iron curtain. Winston Churchill coined the phrase the Iron Curtain. And the movie was called Torn Curtain. Okay, I have to go now, but I'll be back tomorrow, as usual.